And so we're going to get right into it. All right. So the Law of Success. Today's reading is from the Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill, man, he's one of the GOATs. He's one of the GOATs. So make sure that you tap in with him. I've told you guys about his other book, the one that I read first, Think and Grow Rich. This is like 540 pages. This is like a Bible, man. This is a thick read. But it's worth it. It's worth it. And a lot of these things talk about the same principles that we discuss: imagination, desire, all these different things. But this particular reading is focused on desire. And I just want to get into it, hear your guys' thoughts. I picked this book back up yesterday, reading it by the water, and it did something to me. So hopefully it'll hit y'all as well. All right, so I'm kind of going to get into it. It's not like the other book where it's like each chapter is only a page and a half. So I'm just taking a passage out of one of the chapters. I don't even know which chapter this is. Doesn't matter. All right. So we're talking about desire, and it starts in the middle of him, talking about how certain people had different desires and how that worked out for them. So let's get right to it. Once again, The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. Napoleon desired to become Emperor of France and did rule. Lincoln desired to free the slaves, and he accomplished it. The French desired that they shall not pass at the beginning of the World War, and they didn't pass. Edison desired to produce light with electricity, and he produced it, although he was many years in doing so. Roosevelt desired to unite the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans through the Panama Canal, and he did it. Demosthenes, who I don't know how to pronounce his name properly, desired to become a great public speaker, and despite the handicap of serious impediment of speech, he transformed his desire into reality. Helen Keller desired to speak, and despite the fact she was deaf, dumb, and blind, she now speaks. John H. Patterson desired to dominate in the production of cash registers, and he did it. Marshall Field desired to be the leading merchant of his time, and he did. Shakespeare desired to become a great playwright, and despite the fact that he was only a poor, itinerant actor, let's look up that word, he made his desire come true. Billy Sunday desired to quit playing baseball and become a master preacher, and he did it. James J. Hill desired to become an empire builder, and despite the fact he was only a poor telegraph operator, he transformed that desire into reality. Obviously, y'all get the point. Now we're going to get into a little bit of pointing the finger towards us. All right, don't say it can't be done, or that you are different from these and thousands of others who have achieved noteworthy success in every worthy calling. If you are different, it is only in this respect. They desire the object of their achievement with more depth and intensity than you desire yours. Plant in your mind the seed of a desire that is constructive by making the following your creed and the foundation of your code of ethics. All right, so make the following your creed and the foundation of your code of ethics. I wish to be of service to my fellow men as I journey through life. To do this, I have adopted this creed as a guide to be followed in dealing with my fellow beings, to train myself so that never under any circumstances will I find fault with any person, no matter how much I may disagree with him or how inferior his work may be, as long as I know he is sincerely trying to do his best. As long as I know he is sincerely trying to do his best. To respect my country, my profession, and myself, to be honest and fair with my fellow men, as I expect them to be honest and fair with me, to be a loyal citizen of my country, to speak of it with praise and act always as a worthy custodian of its good name, to be a person whose name carries weight wherever it goes, to base my expectations of reward on a solid foundation of service rendered, to be willing to pay the price of success and honest effort, to look upon my work as an opportunity to be seized with joy and made the most of, and not as a painful drudgery to be reluctantly endured. To remember that success lies within myself, in my own brain. To remember that success lies within myself, in my own brain. To expect difficulties and to force my way through them. To avoid procrastination in all its forms and never under any circumstances put off until tomorrow any duty that should be performed today. Finally, to take a good grip on the joys of life so I may be courteous to men, faithful to friends, true to God, a fragrance in the path I tread. The energy which most people dissipate through lack of self-control would, if organized and used constructively, bring all the necessities and the luxuries desired. The time which many people devote to gossiping about others would, if controlled and directed constructively, be sufficient to attain the object of their definite chief aim, if they had such an aim. All successful people grade high on self-control. All successful people grade high on self-control. All quote unquote failures grade low, generally zero, on this important law of human conduct. Study the comparative analysis chart in the introductory lesson and observe whatever. Study those around you and observe with profit that all the successful ones exercise self-control, while the failures permit their thoughts, words, and deeds to run wild. One very common and very destructive form of lack of self-control is the habit. We're not going to get into that. We're going to stop right there and maybe get into that in a little more. But just wanted to share that with y'all because I think that's a dope creed that, and I can figure out a way to get this to you all, but a dope creed that we all can adopt, puts a lot of the attention and energy on ourselves, being accountable. And in all success, it really comes down to desire. That's what the book's saying. And I heard somebody that I wouldn't typically listen to a lot of their stuff, but my big bro Jim sent me a podcast by Steve Harvey, and he was saying that desire is one thing, but that discipline, that's the real one. Anybody can have desire, but the discipline, that's what takes it to the next level. This book is just simply saying that if you desire it, if you really desire it, then you'll have the discipline. So they're saying similar things, but just wanted to share that with y'all. We all have different desires. Whether or not we've accomplished those desires comes down to one thing, and has come down to one thing: ourselves. So that's a good thing, because that means that should empower us, that if we want to do something, it's still on us, and there's just more that we can be doing. So let's keep that there. Whoo, we got a full